Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo. Got a great show in store for you today, as usual, and really pleased to have Donna Eagle here, who is a good friend and a long associate over at WBAI. We know a lot of the same people, and I met because I would go to the open mics where she would play, and I was just blown away by her skills. And then as the more we talked, I realized I already knew you because you played on Bob Fazz's show, my good friend, right? And I used to hear you. Of course, and you were wonderful then, and you're wonderful today. And you have original music, which is so cool. Beautiful original music. So welcome, Donna Eagle, to Let Them Talk. There she is. Hi.
Thank you very much.
You're with us. And Donna, well, thank you so much for coming. And we're going to, obviously, you have your axe, your guitar ready to play, and you look lovely, beautiful dress. And
thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your life as a musician? You're a professional musician. You've been doing this for a while now?
I am a professional musician, and I have been doing this for a while. Funny thing, you said WBAI. I was 18 years old when I got brought to WBAI to play for the first time ever live on the radio some of my songs, and it was Bob Fass and Fred Kuhn, and they sat me down in a chair and they said, John Lennon sat right there and played here too. And I was like, really? That's great.
And Fred Kuhn, of course, was a very good friend. He was for about a year or two a roommate of mine. He shared my apartment and helped me get it. I wouldn't have it now if he didn't help me pay the rent because I couldn't afford it for hell when I first got it. So it was I always had he was a warm spot in my heart for Fred, who passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
Sad, but he did leave a legacy of great music, and he was great at picking talent. He was really good at that, right? He knew. And so, tell me a little bit about Donna. What got you to start playing guitar? When did you decide that you could sing and play guitar, and that you could really do this?
Well, I played some piano as a child and did musical theater. I probably did 14 musicals and had 11 lead roles in musicals before I was 14 years old.
Wow. Was your family musical?
My mother has a master's degree in classical music and is a pianist and was an opera singer before she had me. And my father has a PhD in jazz.
Oh, I would say you have a musical background there,
and,
right?
Yeah. I was brought up in radio stations in the early 70s, and I happened to be that my father was invited to record the powwows in northern Minnesota. Be the only guy that I know of to sit by the drums and record the powwows. And so I was a little tiny kid right near the drums and the singers at powwows for Indian
Right,
music.
That's great. That's cool. So, do you go to Minnesota? Do you hang out? Are this native scene really part of your part of what you do now?
It was until I was 9. We lived there, but my parents are just leaving the powwows right now. I still have
really?
2 parents. They love each other. They're still together, and they were out for the powwow summer this summer, and the last couple of summers. Yeah.
Cool. Let me ask you about the music, because you write your own music. It's beautiful original songs and lovely lyrics. And can you tell me what motivates you to write the music that you write? What do you write about?
Well, I was right before my 18th birthday when I first picked up a guitar, and it saved my life, really did. And I happened to be in Sheep Meadow, of all places, in Central Park, the first time I picked up a guitar, and I was surrounded by talented musicians and songwriters at the time, and I was really impressed. I had a friend named Ben Waller and Tommy Curran and a few others that wrote their own songs, and so I was really impressed that they had their own lyrics and they had their own songs, and they were mentoring me to bring me into that realm. And I chose to I never knew I was going to write a song. It started to come out of me. And conscious lyrics were coming out of me, and these lilting melodies, and I had no idea that was my soul coming out of me. And, I love the earth and all of its creatures. And I get frustrated like some people do about the state of affairs, and many levels, and I wanted some way to channel it and get it to a place where I had a way to express myself and possibly reach out to other people, and even if it didn't make sense, something that would give it some hope to keep going. Hope, the rope that you grope, you know.
Cool. So you're going to actually play a couple of tunes for us and give us an example of the music you do. Maybe we should start out by giving you an opportunity to play a song, and then we can talk about it a little bit afterwards, what it meant and what it was about. And
Sure.
All right?
Thank you.
That'd be great. All right, Donna Eagle.
Your fill, feeling very silly and doing what you will. You're living underneath the sky and above the earth, feeling the flow of life in your blood, feeling the life of love in your soul. In your soul. This is a story, a tale stretched over time, about the meaning behind the words of the rhyme and the pattern of the flow that makes a bell chime and a ball roll. What makes us all tick? Never underestimate the power of a flower. We Aphrodite, Artemis, Isis, Venus, Kali, total awareness. Now is the final hour. Orion, Neptune, Jupiter, Pluto, Anubis, Osiris, Zeus, Apollo. Kronos ate the Grim Reaper, don't you know? Time is relative, though, somewhat of a sedative, you know. As above, so below, open up and let it flow. Let it flow. Are we the dreamer or the dream? The line is pretty hazy. If you talk to God, you're sane, but if God talks back, they say you're crazy. Everything's related, yeah. Reality is self-created. I can't get you out of my mind. You're like flowers on the breeze in the summertime. No, I can't get you out of my mind. Never underestimate the power of a flower. Never underestimate the power of a flower. Of a flower, of a flower, of a flower. You better curb that dogma of yours. Don't you try to leave me on no leash. No, 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 no. It's high time you come down off your altar and practice what you preach. Open your mind to the world's diversity. Millions are dying from your perversity. Never underestimate the power of a flower. Never underestimate the power of a flower. Of a flower, of a flower, of a flower. Spiral, genetic, biokinetic, these are forces in motion. DNA, RNA, yesterday and today, through the living potion. Planet spins, galaxies whirl. Destiny waits like a boy for a girl. Never underestimate the power of a flower. Like the birds and the bees, never underestimate the power of a flower. Of a flower, of a flower, of a flower. Grow, baby, grow. Grow, baby, grow. Grow, baby, grow. It's the power of a flower. we grow.
Thank you, Donna. You go great here. Cool. Whoa, beautiful song. Tell us a little bit about that song, "Power of a Flower." To do what?
Well, it has many meanings. It just happened to be that my friend Chris Poor and I wrote that song together. He came up with some of the music, and I came up with most of the lyrics. Cannabis.
Right.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing.
Right. So you think that marijuana should be legalized?
Actually legalized. I think illegalization should be repealed. I don't think it ever should have been made illegal in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And it's becoming legal. It's legal in California, and in Washington State. It's legal in Colorado. It's virtually legal in California.
It has a plethora of medicinal uses. That is just, it's a sacred thing. Aside from hemp clothing and hemp fibers and hemp fuel and hemp food, hemp hooray.
Right.
You know, but also the power of a flower. All of our bodies were formed from one cell. It's called the flower of life. It's at the bottom of our spine. It's the only cell in our body that I have heard that never changes. All our cells change and grow and die, except for the one at the bottom of our spine that grows who we are. And the power of a flower is it's a beautiful thing to be alive and constantly flowering, open.
Do you have do you have a DVD, a CD, or a record, or anything?
I have a couple of CDs.
Oh yeah, tell us a little bit about people who would fall in love with your music here, and you as a performer. What do you?
I'm currently working on a new one, actually. This is going to be very exciting. But my first one is called Back in the Days of Old, and it's got 13 songs. It's just me solo. My second one is called Time Traveler, and it's a band called Donna Eagle and the Witch, WHICH ? And it's 9 songs, some that were co-created by Chris Poor and myself.
Is generally available, like at the usual places?
You know, that is about to become yet more available. I've been an independent
Tell us.
musician all along, and you could only get things from me. I do have a website, donnaeagle.net, and it is about to, speaking of flowering, be available for many. I'm sure they'll be on iTunes and cdbaby.com and donnaeagle.net, and you can easily get them with your PayPal account and that kind of thing.
Do you feel like you're on the verge of becoming a star? I think you are.
Yes, I actually do. I've held back the reins. The tides of time and space, I've done my best. I've stuck my heels in the dirt and said, absolutely not. And I've crawled up onto the mountaintop and said, no way. I'm not selling out. Are you kidding? But actually, I wanted to develop what I have inside so I can share it outside and bring a mature message to the world that so very much needs it.
Right. Yeah, and that's great to get your word out, and that's the important thing, really, is to get the message out and get the word out and to sing your songs, right?
Yeah, I feel really blessed that I've touched many people in my life so far, as I have been touched, you know, just all over, wherever I've gone, I just keep playing and playing.
Right. Well, I love hearing you play in the open mics I've seen you play at in the park. You're often in speaking of the Sheep Meadow, you know, often there playing with a lot of great musicians. I mean, you know, some of the great musicians in New York, you know, entertain folks every day, every afternoon in the Sheep Meadow, Central Park. So.
Well, actually, you know,
New York is it still happening? I mean, has it totally been
there's
crushed? The spirit hasn't been crushed.
It
yet?
hasn't been completely crushed, but I just got back to New York City, and I wanted to find if the pulse and the heartbeat was still here. And so I walked into Sheep Meadow when I got back in May, and found 12 or 13 of my favorite musicians who make music for the love of music together, and we know each other forever. And it's as if, you know, what makes me live and breathe is the joy of music and being able to organically gather with my friends and acoustic instruments in a place that's green and lush in the center of a huge city where everything's happening without any advertisement, without texting somebody, or, you know, organically gather together to make music because we love to be together and make music.
Well,
It is happening. And actually, you know what? I have a friend named Squirrel who found a spot on MacDougal and Bleecker to busk in the front of this restaurant that had closed down. And she was incredible. And we made some magic a couple of times just for the love of making music together.
Right. And isn't that what John Lennon loved about New York? I mean, that's one of the reasons he moved here, was that he could see David Peel in the park and see somebody like you playing in the park and feel that that's what he was missing as a big star. That's what he was missing at Abbey Road. That's, you know, that's what he was missing in playing the stadiums, you know, was the New York soul of. What is that about New York? Because it's not one. I mean, you go to Chicago, it's great. They got the Chicago blues. They have their sound. But New York doesn't. It does have a sound, but it has a lot of sounds.
New York has musicians from all over the world that come and schlep their huge double basses and their cellos and their violins and flutes and whatever it is. You got a koto player,
isn't it?
you know, you've got, you know, 50 steel drummers that suddenly show up in Union Square Park. If you've ever been to America's Got Talent's auditions, I was blown away at how many musicians have come out of the woodworks to just show, and belly dancers and hip hop artists and you know, incredible talent in the subways these days. You can see, I think there's a 7 or 8 year old Chinese keyboard player, young man, boy, who, you know, can play everything from Tchaikovsky to Rachmaninoff to, I mean, better than the people who wrote it, you know, and an opera singer. And
it's
you know,
amazing. It's still New York in that way, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So, Donna, we have a few minutes. Let's. You want to give us another song while we have the cameras?
I'd love to.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Thanks.
Donna Eagle.
Separate time within your space, your frame of mind. A feeling comes, swells deep inside, it was invoked, we call it pride. So very much to do in so little time, it seems. Some are losing their minds, some are running away from their dreams. On the run towards the light, some are already there, some are threading our way through the darkness with care. Some are weaving our way with our wings through the air. Feel your way, know your way, sing your way, dance your way, dream your way, all the way, live your way, love your way, know your way, go your way, all the way, oh the way, all the way, all the way through the day. When in search for inspiration, let not jealousy be your guide. The inner circle calls me forth, and there is no place to hide. These words, I've used them all before in different ways at separate times. Yet still they feel so neat to me every time I write them down in rhyme. They call me time traveler, they call me rhyme raveler. I'm the piper, and I've come to take you home, forming order in my way, greeting yet another day, calling off and led astray, back to spirit with my song.
are still around. We've taken stand on firmer ground. We've taken forms of you and me, of sacred song, of leaf and tree, of wind and sea. And as the life unfolds, I begin to understand. I'm of the light within the darkness, and my hour is at hand. Reach out, rise up, carry on, fill your cup, dance along with the rhythm of your song. Feel your way, know your way, sing your way, dance your way, dream your way, all the way, live your way, love your way, know your way, go your way, all the way, oh the way, all the way, all the way, through the day, through the day, 'cause everything changes. Separate time within your space, your frame of mind. A feeling comes, swells deep inside. It was invoked, we call it pride. So very much to do in so little time, it seems. Some are losing their minds, some are running away from the dark, some are losing their dreams on the run towards the light, but we're already there. Some are threading our way through the darkness with care. Some are weaving our way with our wings through the air. Feel your way, know your way, sing your way, dance your way, dream your way, all the way, live your way, love your way, know your way, go your way, all the way, oh the way, all the way, all the way, through the day.
Wonderful, Donna.
Thank you.
I want to fit in one more song, so we don't have a lot of time. What was the name of that song?
Time Traveler.
And what's that about?
That's about the dream time, real time crossover that happens with me. Mm-hmm. And it took about 2 years for that song to form itself. It's about the synchronicities that I experience when I know that that God is in my life, showing me the special, beautiful places that exist within the dark, yucky times. How to move through dark times and still stay in the light that my soul shows me exists.
Mm-hmm. You know? And if people want to learn more about you, they should go to your website,
DonnaEagle.net. And I do make beautiful clothing and jewelry.
Beautiful. All right. Donna, we're going to give you another song. Go for it.
This one's called Chasing Unicorns. This is for all of you. Welcome here now, all of you, my friends, to the place where the river's running low and the harvest's just come in. I get a sinking feeling as the quiver of the strings match the rhythm of my body. I thought it was just yesterday that you and I would walk away to distant lands and places that are closest
to our hearts, to our hearts. To think our souls will ever part. I get a sinking feeling as the truth unfolds and life begins a season, ever changing through the flowing of the days, through the flowing of the days. And the nights bring dreams that breathe of butterflies, entrapped in the foreshadow of a time when spirits freely danced and played, danced and played. Just remember that freely is the key word in this phrase. A butterfly, a drop of blood, upon my heart a flower grows, the sting of love, a child's cry, a wild image in the sky. And all I wanna do is spread my wings and fly away home with unicorn. Oh, unicorn. Thinking of a love that's lost forever, never to be found. Thinking of a heart torn open and in pieces on the ground. A lock of hair reminds me that the pain still lingered on, and yet I hope for new love and the strength to carry on. Oh, carry on. A butterfly, a drop of blood, upon my heart a flower grows, the sting of love, a child's cry, a wild image in the sky. And all I wanna do is spread my wings and fly, yeah. I have felt that change is coming just as morning comes from dawn. The sun is shining brightly now, the road no longer dim and long. And yet another foolish try, another moment passes by, and as I reach for my Eden stone, I breathe a sigh. I thought it was a unicorn, but I was wrong. Hey man, I'm young and I thought chasing unicorns was fun. I think I see another one. It's the mane flowing in the golden sun. I do believe my heart is one. Chasing unicorns, chasing unicorns. And as I think of many loves I have passed by, and as I've crossed through time and space in fields of dreams, rhyme and reason, still it seems I must speak softly, even whisper now. I think they hear me. Oh, unicorn. The dust of ages gathers on the words that I lay down. A gust of bitter wind blows fiercely, communication lines are down. The candles dwindle down to nothing, leaving only inner sight. So I sit back and close my eyes, reaching inward for the light. I have felt the changes coming just as morning comes from dawn. The sun is shining brightly now, the road no longer dim and long. And yet another foolish try, another moment passes by, and as I reach for my Eden stone, I breathe a sigh. I thought it was a unicorn, but I was wrong. Hey man, I'm young and I thought chasing unicorns was fun. I think I see another one. It's made of flow And all I wanna do is spread my wings and fly away home with unicorn.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome,
for joining
Paul.
us. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next week.